Defense Minister Rajnath Singh foiling Pakistan-China terror whitewash. India foils Pakistan bid to divert lens from terror. Pakistan-China tango to divert attention from terror. Sources say the Defense Minister stands firm against Pakistan terror. Rajnath Singh's no to a biased joint statement at the SCO. The Raksha Mantri firmly stood ground on India's stand on terrorism and Pahalgam. It resulted into no joint statement or protocol that could be issued. Pakistan and China were trying to divert the attention from terrorism, but the Raksha Mantri refused to sign the document, which would have diluted India's stand. No pleasantries were exchanged with the Pakistani Defense Minister at the SCO at the meeting as well. So Rajnath Singh there refusing to sign the joint statement. There was eventually no statement and no pleasantries were exchanged with his Pakistan counterpart is what we are learning. India sending out a strong message at the important forum of the SCO. Not signing the document and also not exchanging pleasantries with his Pakistani counterpart. Rajnath Singh refusing to sign the joint document is what we are learning, to send out a message, given that Pakistan and China went soft on the terror threat. The Defense Minister took a firm stand at the SCO meeting, refusing to sign a joint statement due to disagreements on the language of it and on terrorism. He condemned the use of terrorism as a state policy, obviously targeting Pakistan. And he highlighted the Pahalgam attack and called for collective action against terrorism. He refused to sign a joint statement that would have diluted India's position on critical issues, particularly concerning terrorism and regional security. The move, of course, underscores India's commitment to its strategic autonomy and its uncompromising stance against terror. Pranay Upadhyay getting in more details on that. This is our uncompromising stance against cross-border terror that Raksha Mantri spelled out very clearly, using terror as a state policy. What about the language of the joint statement? What exactly was opposed? Take us through the fine print here, Pranay.
Sneha, at a time when the Operation Sindoor is still on, Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, who's visiting Qingdao for the SCO Defense Ministers meeting, he put forth India's, India's commitment and as far as India's stance in very clear terms that talks and terror, the issue of terrorism is an issue of non-compromise for India, and that's why India pursues the policy of zero tolerance against terrorism. The Chinese and Pakistanis and some other partners were trying to bring a joint statement diluting the word terrorism and emphasis on the word terrorism, and therefore Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh refused to sign on the joint document, the joint statement, and he made it clear during his speech as well during the SCO Defense Ministers meeting that the perpetrators of terrorism, those who finance that, those who harbor and those who have been pursuing the policy, the terrorism as a state policy, need to be called out. They need to be isolated. And even for the success of SCO as a regional organization, it is important that the issue of terrorism need to be addressed, because it creates the trust deficit. It reduces the possibility of member states cooperating among each other. So clearly, from the Chinese soil, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has not only exposed Pakistan, but had also given a clear message to China as well, though he's likely to meet the Chinese defense minister later in the day today.
All right, Pranay Upadhyay getting in those details. An important point that has been made by India, refusing to sign the joint statement that would have diluted India's position on critical issues, and this includes cross-border terrorism. Pranay Upadhyay, thanking you for the moment. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh slamming Pakistan terror at the SCO summit in China. Now, in his opening remarks at the summit, he gave a strong message to Pakistan, highlighting India's no tolerance against cross-border terrorism, invoking the dastardly Pahalgam attack that killed 26 innocent tourists in Kashmir earlier this year. Rajnath Singh asserted that it's the time now to unite and bring those who fund and sponsor terror to task. He also urged the SCO members to condemn cross-border terrorism.
On 22nd April 2025, the terror group, the Resistance Front, carried out a dastardly and a heinous attack on the innocent tourists in Pahalgam, in the Indian state of the Jammu and Kashmir. 26 innocent civilians, including a Nepali national, were killed. Victims were shot after they were profiled based on the religious identity. The Resistance Front, which is a proxy of UN-designated terror group Lashkar-e-Toiba, claimed responsibility for the attack. The pattern of the Pahalgam terror attack matches with LET's previous terror attacks in India. In exercising its right to defend against terrorism and preempt as well as deter further cross-border terrorist attacks, India on 7th May 2025 successfully launched Operation Sindoor to dismantle cross-border terrorist infrastructure. We reiterate the need to hold the perpetrators, organizers, financiers, and sponsors of reprehensible acts of terrorism, including cross-border terrorism, accountable and bring them to justice. Any acts of terrorism are criminal and unjustifiable, regardless of their motivation, whenever, wherever, and by whomsoever committed. SCO members must condemn this evil unequivocally.
One of the major concerns is certainly anti-terrorism from the Indian side. So certainly the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a platform when it comes to anti-terrorism. I spoke with a lot of guests and experts, including the Secretary of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, Secretary General Yermak Bayev, and he also mentioned about anti-terrorism. But certainly there are also many other agenda on the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Certainly this is the organization that got started with the security cooperation, but certainly there are a different multiple range of fields of cooperation among different countries. So I think this is also a very rare opportunity for the Indian Defense Minister Singh to come over to Beijing, and Beijing is really looking forward to host this platform and create more opportunity from the Indian side